nose was cause for alarm, so Dad brought Puffs Plus lotion to save it from harm. Puffs has 50% more lotion and brings soothing relief. Don't get burned by winter nose. A nose in need deserves Puffs indeed. America's #1 lotion tissue.
Watch Off the Clock today at 2 on KTLA 5.
Now at noon, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel offering U.S. support as the deadly war with Hamas escalates into a 6th day. Thanks for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at noon. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Lou Parker. Hundreds of thousands are said to be homeless in Gaza as the humanitarian crisis deepens.
The number of Americans killed in the conflict is rising, with several others still missing, possibly held hostage. KTLA 5's Corrine Winter live in the News Center with the latest developments. Corrine?
Well, Glenn, throughout the day, Israel has been conducting large-scale airstrikes on targets in Gaza. They're launching nonstop air raids. The Israeli minister said that they're blocking fuel, food, and also power into Gaza until Hamas releases hostages taken in this attack. A warning now that the images you're about to see, they are disturbing.
Scenes of carnage, demolished communities, countless victims among the dead. Along the Gaza Strip, a Palestinian territory, families searched for possible survivors. Another Israeli airstrike on Thursday, pounding the region. Day 6 into the Israel-Palestinian war, both sides have exchanged near constant airstrikes since Hamas militants breached a border fence on Saturday, killing hundreds of Israelis in their homes, on the streets, and at an outdoor music festival. An emotional scene. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who traveled to Israel to meet with the country's leaders, spoke with those who survived Saturday's rampage. This festival goer described the celebrations before the chaos.
We went through horror, really.
Lior Gelbaum said it's a miracle she made it out and begged Blinken to get her friends, some held hostages, home.
The rockets started and gunshots everywhere. We managed to escape. But there were a lot of friends that didn't, and there are a lot of friends that are kept captive now in Gaza.
Blinken reaffirmed the U.S. stands shoulder to shoulder with Israel and referenced the, quote, unrelenting agony for families of hostages held by Hamas.
The enormity of their anguish, their loss, is immeasurable.
The death toll is growing, roughly 1,200 killed in Israel, more than 1,400 in Gaza. Hamas justifying its initial attack on Israel, saying Palestinians' suffering had become unbearable with a long-standing Israeli military occupation, the settlements in the West Bank, also the 16-year-long blockade in Gaza. The country's president said Palestine is working to de-escalate the conflict in the region and clear the way for urgent humanitarian corridors to provide medical relief aid to the area. For those desperate to find loved ones who may have been kidnapped by Hamas, their message is clear as they cling to hope.
Do anything you can to bring these people home.
And Blinken will also be traveling to Qatar. There are reports that he will engage in mediation talks to free women and also children held hostage by Hamas. That's the latest in the News Center. I'm Corrine Winter. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Corrine. A search is underway to find a man described by authorities as a mentally disordered, violent sex offender. The LAPD says that John Carver should be considered armed and dangerous. The 71-year-old was last seen Tuesday night near Olympic Boulevard and Maslin Avenue. Police say Carver cut off his monitoring device and walked out of his state-mandated program. He also goes by the names Scott Carver and Michael Meadows. If you see him, you are urged to call 911.
Well, talks between Hollywood actors and major studio executives are now on hold.
Yeah, the latest round of negotiations broke down late last night. KTLA 5's Omar Lewis is in Hollywood with more.
SAG-AFTRA members are here picketing at Netflix headquarters in Hollywood today after union leaders say the latest offer from the studios was worse than the one proposed before the strike began. Meanwhile, the alliance representing studios and streaming companies say SAG-AFTRA is rejecting the same terms accepted by the Writers Guild of America. We just spoke to a strike captain out here. Take a listen to what he had to say from SAG-AFTRA.
The last 2 weeks have been for naught, and we're still standing here pretty much in the same position just a bit more upset and disappointed. I really hope we get back to the table tomorrow, today even, after we pick